I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 No filter, I got no filter.
Hey, welcome to Paramotor Hangout. Oh, we're live. Yeah, and somebody forgot to tell Mark that we're on tonight. Yeah, that guy's still on
a staff meeting at his house.
Yeah, all of his workers are probably not doing all the work, and he's probably had to do a little bit, maybe pick his own towel up or his dirty drawers off the ground, and usually when he takes them off, there's somebody there and it's gone. That's what he's probably mad about. Probably. Anyways, man, how was your weekend? Well,
my weekend was good. It was I'm working on the van still, but I'm down to the so that's good. I see a light at the end of the tunnel finally. I'm looking forward to going down and enjoying it. That's why I was kind of reconsidering going down to Florida.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss nothing. There's literally
I mean the future Florida.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna make a deal with you. Let's see who can finish what project first. Your van or my bathroom.
You've been working on that for years.
I've been working on it. That's why it's not done. Holy crap. Oh man, so yeah, we went to Sunnyland down in Lake Okeechobee, which is really only about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes from my house, which is pretty nice. Something close and easy to get to. But yeah, the winds, rain, it was not a good fly-in because of the weather. I enjoyed 100% the hanging out part and cooking and everybody just having a great time. Mark came down. He showed up for that, but he doesn't show up for Tuesday night. Hey, I wonder if I text him and let him know.
I just did.
Oh, did you? Okay. But yeah, it was really a donation. They said online it was $50 per pilot, but they asked for a donation when you got there and not the $50. So here's my opinion, or here's my question to you, Will. You got there Thursday night. It was at dark. It was dark 30. The next morning was not flyable. That afternoon was not flyable. Friday. But we found out Saturday morning was going to be really the only chance you got to fly. What do you put in for a donation if you know you're only flying one day?
Well, but you're staying there. I would have put $50 in if that's what they were asking, and that's what I was planning on paying. Now, if I only stayed one day,
well, the camping's free. The camping's free, and you're paying for your own fuel, your own water. Blah blah blah.
That's just me. If I stayed there the whole time that I had planned on staying there, I'd have thrown in $50.
Okay.
And I mean, that's why it's a donation, right? So Each person gets to, I mean, I don't know how you work with yourself if you didn't pay $50.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, what's up, Ben? We got Linda, Ben, we got Matt Sloper, Bill H. I thought I seen John Wayne in here, or maybe I'm crazy. Shane, Shane's Planet, Shane, Mr. Dana. Yeah, John Wayne's in here. We had Sean Simons in here earlier before the show. Which, by the way, you didn't call me today, Will, so we could discuss things, but I got so much to tell you about that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
it's very interesting. Let's just say
all
I don't
right.
know what your schedule is. Mine's pretty open, so if my phone rings, I'm answering it. Just so you know.
I got you. I got you.
Here,
Totally
here,
forgot about
yeah. Here in about 10 minutes, we're going to discuss um, the dangers of foot launching and what happened to me this past weekend. A lot of you guys have already seen it, um, but we're going to go into detail of exactly what happened and what I think I may or may not have done differently. So, and hopefully will when it comes time. The clip that I sent you via text message, not the flyover, but the first part. Can you have that pulled up?
that. Yes. When did you send it? The other day?
It should have been Saturday morning.
Okay.
I believe it was Saturday or Sunday. JP Tulo in the house.
What's up, JP?
Did I say Randy? I don't know if I said Randy or not, or Linda. But anyways, welcome guys. We got it. We're about right around 8:15. We're going to start discussing the dangers of foot launching.
Okay. Is this the TikTok one
No.
that you sent?
It should have just been the footage of the faceplant.
Yes. I got that.
Okay. Yeah, because we don't need to play the whole me doing a flyover, making yelling at Brian.
Yeah, the flyover looked pretty cool though. But yeah, okay. And that's what if it seems like I'm a little distracted, I was actually looking for some footage. I mean, of me failing a launch, and I've never failed a launch, so it's really hard to find any kind of footage like that.
Well, I can tell you, no, dude, I can tell you over 400 launches and 3 years of flying, 200 and I think I was right at 220 hours. I have never, ever had anything like that happen on takeoff. I've never even walked up and was like, oh, that could have been bad. Like none of that. It's just,
Yeah. Well, for those who know me, they know that I'm fibbing when I say I never fail launches. But if you take the opportunity, we'll talk about it. But if you take the opportunity and are humble enough to go ask for, someone, if you got the footage to ask someone. I did that with Dana, as a matter of fact, at where was that? North Carolina?
Easy Pace.
Easy Pace, yeah. So I mean, it's all to your benefit,
Right.
And especially, it's one thing when you're the launcher. If you can actually have an observer, you'd be amazed at what they can pick up, especially if they've got any kind of experience. They can a lot of times put their finger right. They can touch the spot that you're having trouble with, and a lot of times you don't even think about it.
Well, I can tell you with my crash that not one person seen anything other than me saying. They all ask me like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Line on my foot." I literally felt the yank of the line, and that was it. Next thing I felt was my face hitting the ground.
And how did that make you feel?
Actually, as I when I hit, I was like, did I just hear my prop? Like I was in my head immediately, like damage control. And then for some reason I hit the throttle and I was trying to hit the kill switch. And at the last part of that video, you can actually see me like trying to work my hand to get to my kill switch because for whatever reason, the throttle did not, the kill switch was not in its normal spot. I don't know if the throttle moved down or whatever on my hand. I don't know. I just, you could see me wiggling my hand trying to get my kill switch available so I could kill it. And
Right.
And then when I started getting up and people come over and they were asking me all these questions, and I'm like, dude, I'm still trying to mentally figure out everything that just happened. And
trying to brief yourself on the incident.
Yeah, like I'm just sitting there going, okay, how did that just happen? What did I catch my foot on? And I'm breaking it all down, and it took that hour and a half, hour and 40-minute drive home for me to sit there and play it over in my head over and over and over, and I was just like, well, you know, we'll get into it here in a little bit. I about another 5 minutes, but yeah, JP, I did spit out some grass, dude. That's no joke. Like I'm talking, my nose hit the ground first before anything else. I literally just, and you know, I did post it, so it is funny. I'm perfectly okay with that. I have no problems with it because it is hilarious. Um, but I also want to learn from it, and there's a problem with learning from this. And at 8:15, I'm sorry, 10, 8:15, we will discuss it. I got to turn that fan up a little bit more, or go turn my air conditioner back on because it's freaking hot in here. Oh, and the door is shut. That's why. All right, hold on. I'll be right back.
I can tell you it's not hot in North Carolina. It was a lot warmer today than it has been, but it got down to like 20 degrees the other night. It's chilly. So, John Wayne, you are in the house. I was going to ask you, were you still planning on going to Virginia? Where's Shingo? So anyways, I was looking for some footage of some of my failed launches, and I've got tons of them, but I can't see my finger on it.
Okay.
But I'll
Did
keep
Mark-
looking.
Did Mark ever reply back to you?
He did not.
He must not like you.
I guess not, man. Okay. So, how many people were at the fly-in?
I would say there was a better part of maybe 50 pilots, 45, 50 pilots. And then friends and family showed up, you know, so it, John Wayne said he's currently driving home. I think Mark had an 8.5 hour drive just to fly all of 30 minutes. And we were flying Saturday morning was not, wasn't pleasant. I mean, the only way you're making any kind of headwind or head speed was to fly as low as possible. There's a ton of cattle and some power lines here and there. So it's really just wasn't. Now, I will tell you, a lot of those cows never, ever even looked up when we flew by them. They're so used to the airplanes that take off out of this ranch and the paramotors and stuff. They never even batted an eye. But we ended up going maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles from the upwind from the flying, and it took about maybe 15 minutes to get over, that far, and then it took less than 5 minutes to get back. We were moving. Yeah, we were doing like 60 miles an hour. It wasn't bumpy or gusty or anything. It was just laminar high winds, and It just did not. It wasn't great. It just wasn't great. But I mean, like I said, the best part of it was the hanging out and just having a good time.
Well, you can't win them all.
And Mark was segueing left and right.
Really?
Oh yeah, he got on it, and we didn't see him again. He was segueing all every chance he got.
How about that? That was cool. Hopefully you got some video on that.
No, I don't. Oh man, he said he had rode a Segway once before, but he didn't do so well, and he got on it this time, and I mean, we were gone. He was out, so he had fun. That's all that really mattered.
Right.
So, all right, here we go.
You can hold off on just like 2 minutes here. I'm trying to work on the.
Okay.
So, did you do a cookout or anything like that? Did you cook anything fancy?
Oh, let me tell you what I did do. I actually did not get a chance to clean my little tabletop pit boss that I have. And I actually told Mark when I started, I said, after this cook, I'm going to have to clean it. It's needing to get cleaned. You get a lot of the pellet dust or ash underneath, and you can get grease and stuff under there too. So every now and then it's good to clean them. Well, I think London Ivy from Cloud Base PPG was in my camper, and we were all talking. Mark, London, and myself were talking, and Smart Car Brian, who we were awning to awning, so his door was facing my door, and he comes over and he goes, "Hey Shane, is this thing supposed to be spitting out fire?" And I was like, "What?" So I go out there, and my pit boss is now engulfed in flames with two big, fat, juicy pork chops that are just cooking up a storm. And so I quickly pulled those off, and I got the fire, taken care of, and almost burned my camper down. I burnt my pit boss all up.
Well, did you hurt it?
The pit boss? No. I had to get a new sealant tape, which is just like a felt tape. It keeps the heat in, and it's heat resistant. And so I just put that on today. It looks really good. But some of the outside paint's a little gone, and it just doesn't look as pretty as it did. It's all good, not a big deal. But yeah, and London's like, "Hey, you might want to move it away from the camper," because the flames were kind of starting to go towards the camper a little bit. So I was about to burn my pit boss up, the camper up. But yeah, Mark ate the pork chop. I was like, "Mark, I'm not eating that pork chop. That pork chop tastes like burnt grease." He goes, "It's fine." I'm like, "I'm not eating it," and I never ate it. He's like, I told him, I said, "I'm gonna throw it away." He's like, "Don't throw it away. You put it in a Ziploc bag." I got home, threw it away. I'm not eating that. It's not good. All I had was macaroni that night. So, how are we doing on that, Will? JP's impatient. He is wanting to hear this breakdown. Somebody should tell Will he's on mute. All right, I will go ahead and start telling the story.
Okay, because you start. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay. So we got there Thursday night after dark, so there was no flying. Friday was completely blown out. Friday morning, Friday afternoon. Saturday morning, according to the weather, that was going to be our only chance to fly. We got up, and immediately, I really did not want to fly. And I say this completely open and honest. I really did not want to fly. Or I didn't feel like I wanted to fly. So Mark was getting his stuff ready. I got my stuff ready. The whole time I'm just like, man, I'd just rather just like not fly. It's not great wind. It's not what I like to fly in. It's just not what I want. So I decided to go ahead and go. So we put my paramotor in the back of Mark's truck. We drove over to the spot, and we're waiting for the trike launchers. They had to get their onboard navigation set up, their radio channel set up, the seat warmer going, make sure their hair looks good under their helmet. I don't know what takes trike flyers so long to get ready and go, but it was a lot. So they finally took off, and I went and laid my wing out. Mark went, I believe Mark set his wing up next to me. And this whole time, I'm just like, I really don't want to fly. And I went over and pre-flight it. Oh, actually, I had pre-flighted my motor before I walked over and set my wing up. And once that happens, once I set my wing up, it's go time. I don't sit there and mess around. So I put my paramotor on. I buckle every buckle I got, check them. I go to reach up to turn my paramotor on, and the little pulley that's for the pull start had come off and was behind. So I take the paramotor off, get that, pull it up, put the pin back in it, tighten it all up. Now remember, I said I pre-flighted my motor, but I never looked at that part. I always look at the airbox, the exhaust, the cage, motor mounts, exhaust mounts, and I never noticed that pulley. And I was like, oh, there's problem number one. Like I have a 3-problem rule, and after the third one, I don't fly. So I get the motor started on first pull, ready to rock. I walk over, and there was a ton of people standing over to my left. And I was like, man, the winds are strong. I could probably, without any problems, reverse launch this. I pick up my risers, put them together, flip it over, and then go, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the only. Everyone is freaking forward launching. Every foot launcher was forward launching. I was like, I don't want to be that guy. So I flipped them back over, laid them back down on the ground like I normally would, hooked in, and grabbed my brakes, walked out, stretched my lines out like you're supposed to, make sure you're even inside the wing. And then I took my step back, and knowing the winds were strong, I knew that I was going to have to make sure that I had an extra forward momentum going because the winds were going to be strong. So, once that wind gets about 45 degrees, it wants to pull you backwards. So, dude, I took my step back. I got my posture. I did my little hop that I always do. And I lunged forward as hard as I could. And when I went back with my left foot went back. And as soon as I went to pull it forward, that line was wrapped around my foot. And it literally just drove me into the ground face first. So quickly, I never even put my hands out. It was all, oh, hold on. Can we get this to go here? Maybe this will make it bigger. All right, let's get rid of this. Okay. So go ahead and play this, Will, and then we can maybe break it down. Now, if you watch my right leg, you'll see it literally get hung up. And down goes the chef. I don't know if we can do play-by-play or frame-by-frame, but I did my bounce, and it's going to be hard. But
I can see where you got tripped up. So, what's what? Right.
So there's where I probably stepped over the line.
Right there.
Yeah, you see the wings start moving.
Uh-huh. I can see your leg get
right there.
Right there. Yeah.
And then you see how far forward I am, like my body posture, which is not a normal stance for me either, because I knew the winds
under the wind in expectations of the more aggressive launch. And
I literally was just driving forward. I knew that I watched one guy take off before me, and he almost got turtled. It like damn near lifted him off the ground. He took about 6 steps backwards. So I was anticipating this wind. And when I took that hop, I don't know if I just put the line under me. This is the problem. So I'm fine with airing stuff, my mistakes. It's for a learning purpose, and I'm perfectly happy with that to help anybody out and learn from my mistake. The problem is I don't know how that line got where it's at. So there's an issue with this learning part that I can't figure out how I did that to learn how to fix it. So I guess now you'll see me looking at my feet before I take off. I've got over 400 launches, 220 hours, and 3 years under my belt, and I've never had anything remotely like that happen. And I'm very robotic when it comes to each launch, each setup. I'm very robotic. I go through the whole. I can hear Lauren telling me, once you clipped in, you're checking your brake or your doors, your roads, your brake, clear the pulley, walk out there and feel the fish on the end of your line, and I do everything the same freaking way. Why did I do something different this morning to cause that line? Was it maybe the wind blew the line over? I've lost sleep over this, trying to figure out how I could fix this.
Yeah, well, just because you do it the same way every single time doesn't mean conditions are always exactly the same each time. So, I mean, there are variables in there. And I've done it. Well, I certainly can't judge. Now, I've never done it and face planted. I face planted, but not because of tripping over a line. But my wing, of course, went all wonky, and it was a failed launch.
Right.
So from that, I always look down, because I've done that. I've learned, hey, I want to make sure where my lines are, just to make absolutely sure that they're not
Right.
going to come up over my foot.
I bet you
the
I'll be doing that
Go ahead.
now. I bet you I'll be doing that now, looking down at my feet
Yeah,
every single
it's
time.
I think that's an awesome tip. I mean, I have spent more time before each launch. I won't say meticulously, but I really pay attention to how my wing is laid out and the center. Make sure I'm in the center of the wing. I mean, I've been kind of consciously doing that more because I think I've gotten lax in the past.
Right.
But I don't know where I heard this, but someone said that after an event or an incident or an accident is always preceded. There's always three things that precede that occurrence. And I don't know if were you feeling rushed, or were you
No.
feeling frustrated, or
No, I
because you
just
said you had to take your motor off and then grab
Well,
the pulley.
that's not a big deal. I think not wanting to fly isn't really why I did this. I did everything the exact same. It's just, even if I'm rushed, I will literally go through. Once I'm strapped into the paramotor and I hook in, nobody can say anything to me or rush me, because at that point it's safety for myself. And I don't listen or look at anybody. I literally go through my safety check. I make sure my doors are closed first, and I go through the whole system, and I walk out and stretch my lines out and then take my step back. Now, Mark does have a forward or from the front angle off of his helmet cam, but he's not here tonight, so we can't. Sean said something about maybe I step to the right. In Mark's video, I literally just hop straight up and go straight forward. It's something to do with when I step back from after tightening my lines, make sure I'm in the center. It has to be something I did.
Okay, so watch the wing. The very first part of the wing that moves is the center.
Right. Hold on, let me get rid of the comment. Okay, there you go.
Okay, then the left side comes next. The right side, you see how far the right side hasn't even started moving yet. And then it all goes to pot from there. But I mean, if we can't figure out exactly what happened, we do know that you definitely tripped over a line, right?
Oh, 100%. That was the first. I mean, before I hit the ground, I already figured that part out. I just was trying to figure out how the hell it got there. And now, see, when I scorpioned right there, that prop, I had just hit the gas because I was actually reaching for the kill switch. Now you see where when you go back to the part where I'm laying on the ground, right as I hit the ground, you'll see my hand go back towards my waist. When I hit the ground, that threw my throttle forward on my hand, so it wasn't back here. So now my kill switch, which is normally right here, is now shifted way up here, so I couldn't hit the kill switch. So I'm trying to get my hand to wiggle the throttle down or back into my hand so I can kill the kill switch. And I mean, I just would like to know how the damn thing got wrapped around my foot. That's the part that's driving me nuts.
I got you. Sean says, play and watch the first step after the hop. There's the hop. You do kind of go to the right, it looks like. No, that could be just the parallax.
I think it's just the angle, because from Mark's camera view, actually, you know what?
It does kind of look like you're going. See, it looks like you're pulling the left first, anyways, the left part of the wing. But
Hold on. I'm wondering if Mark sent me a clip in text message. I don't think so. I can tell you. I don't know if I don't have my background on, so you're going to be able to see this. This is from Fly Baby Fly. This is when I just took my paramotor off of my back. This is what my face looked like. Hold on. Come on. Come on. Did I get closer? There it is. Oopsie. Like I was still like just dumbfounded. I was like, what the hell just happened?
hey, does it make me a really bad human being? Because my first reaction when I saw that was I laughed, man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It was just so freaking funny. But I mean, I was glad you were okay, of course.
Here is the best part of this whole thing. So we get back after our flight. I set my wing inside, my paramotor in the camper because I knew I wasn't flying no more, so I'd leave it outside. And then Krista at this point is now like talking to me or whatever from just waking up. And I said, hey, I tripped on takeoff and I did a face plant. She said it was anything broke. Did you hurt? She said, did you hurt yourself? I said, no, everything's fine. The only thing I broke was my chest harness. And she's like, oh, okay. I said, you want to see the video? She's like, yeah. So the first time she's seen the video, she was like, oh, are you okay? And I go, yeah, I'm fine. She hits play again, burst into tears and laughing. Okay. So it's perfectly fine. Like she told me to stop showing her because I was trying to go back and go frame by frame on the phone. And she's like, you got to stop. I can't watch it no more. My stomach hurts from laughing. Like she literally belly laughed multiple times.
It's kind of funny. Hey, we touched on this earlier, and this is how I do it too. You extend your arms out as far as possible. And so that would have maybe solved your problem there because you hold your lines up here, right?
That's how I was taught. Yep. That's how I was taught. Shoulders back, chest out. But I'm wondering also if it wasn't for this. Well, no, it wasn't because of the push forward. Like me leaning so far forward, that wasn't it. It's something that happened from the time I stretched the lines out, took my step back. Maybe when I stretched the lines out, maybe it was snagged on a piece of grass and never actually came all the way out.
I don't know. But I mean, you know, we all get taught, I mean, by human beings. So, I mean, I'm not going to judge the way you were taught.
Right, no. And
it's something you could try, you know, I mean, to see if that helps. Planet Shane says arms out wide, less lines under you, less frame pressure. So
see, I have the PAP, which is a titanium frame, and my arms are out and that hits that cage flexes. But if they're here, they can't go no further.
Yeah. Well, and can I ask why you didn't do a reverse launch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100% will. Everybody and I'm talking 4 or 5 people, maybe 3 or 4 people launched before me, foot launch, besides the trikes, and they all did forward launches. And I was like, man, I could do a reverse in this, no problem. And then I look over to my left and see all the people, and I'm like, man, I don't want to be that guy that does the reverse and act like I'm showing off or something, because none of those people matter to me once I'm hooked in. But I wasn't hooked in yet, so I was still having process of thinking about doing a reverse. And as soon as I landed afterwards, not this landing, the one where I actually got off the ground, I seen like 4 or 5 guys doing reverse launches and taking off. And I was like, man, I should have done it. Like, I would have been the first one of the day, starting a trend. But
you would be surprised. I mean, maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but you would be surprised at how many people don't know how to do a reverse launch or aren't comfortable doing a reverse launch. I mean, you know, some people that they don't really have the opportunity to do it much, you know.
Mark,
And then some
Mark is
places
one of them.
that's all you can do is reverse launches. So then they're uncomfortable doing forward launches. So it just, yeah, I don't know.
I'm telling you right now, Mark has only done a handful of reverse launches because we're in Georgia. They don't have that kind of wind. But here in Florida, we can reverse launch a lot. And I've done a ton of reverse launches. It's not any. I actually prefer a reverse launch than I do a forward launch, just because the wing's already over your head. Once it's set where it's supposed to, then you just turn and go. So it's much easier, and I should have very much so done it that day. So you watch my hand at the very end. You'll see it I'm trying to get it to die.
I'm trying to strike a pose, man.
Shane's Planet Shane said it's 3 years plus, and he's never reversed.
Yeah. So I mean, I probably, you know, we're all different. You know, I would have done a reverse launch if it called for it. But when I first started flying, that's all I would do is reverse launches, and I was really comfortable doing reverse launches, and I was uncomfortable doing the forward launch. You know, and then somewhere along the way, it flipped. I was really comfortable doing forward launches, but I wasn't comfortable doing. So,
no, I actually prefer a reverse launch, but it does not bother me to forward launch. I do more of those than anything. I just, in this situation this morning, I mean, if I was there by myself and Mark wasn't there, Mark didn't drive 8.5 hours to get there. There's a very good chance I would have not even have flown. I would have started the fire, got the fire going again, and sat there that morning and been like, I don't want to fly. I've done that at fly-ins. There's times everybody's like, I'm going to fly. I'm like, I don't feel like flying. And I don't. I wanted to fly with Mark because he had drove 8 hours. We were only going to get this one morning to fly. And I woke up and I was like, I don't want to fly. But I did it.
well,
and I'm not making excuses, because I would love to know what the hell I did wrong than any of my other 400 launches.
we'll process the information. I mean, you've gotten some good feedback, whether it's, you know, for you or not, I don't know, but I mean, I think you're on the right track. And
Yeah.
JP, on one of his tips, in one of the tip videos, he said he likes to get people to look at his launches. What good launches, bad launches. He just likes to have other pilots look to see if there's anything that, you know, catches their eye that he could do better or
Right.
whatever. I've got let me share this one here. Present and window. Share. So this is
Mountain City.
yeah,
Mountain City.
man. Yeah. So you know, of course the winds could be wonky at Mountain City, but that didn't affect the phone. That was definitely a failed launch. So
Yeah,
let's
but
see.
You're running uphill though.
Yeah, I was gonna see if anyone else could figure out what was going on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Shut up, Shane.
That is exactly what happened. First of all, I was hot, I was sweaty, I was like, man, I want to get up into that cool air. And I won't say that I was feeling rushed, but my energy was like really low. It was just one of those things, you know, where after you lug your gear out there, you get everything lined up and you're all set, and you're wearing something warm, because you know when you get up there it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what happened. I took the first step and I realize and it's not a huge incline there. It's just a slight berm, for drainage for the runway. But it was enough to throw me off my game, and it's something that I wasn't expecting. Even though I'm staring at it, it still caught me off guard. And boom, I just kind of get my legs just gave out, and that's it. So, and this right here is me wondering, what the hell?
Yeah. now on with my with my launch, if I would have landed that way, that wing would have yanked me over and I'd have turtled.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, another thing, when in a situation like that, I'm always ready to get on the power, a little bit more in case I thought sometimes I have had situations where, man, I'd love to do a reverse launch, and I probably could do a reverse launch, but the winds sometimes are shifty enough to where I'm not going to do a reverse launch. I'm going to do a forward. And another thing you said was that, you just watched how many people do a forward launch?
3 or 4 people.
Yeah. So, I mean, you already had the experience of seeing how their wings were interacting with the wind. So you probably made, a good call there. Let's see. Bill H can laugh. Will I tore up a Kangook Viking like that? Bill H says, can I laugh? I tore up a Kangook Viking like that. So yeah, man.
Now,
it doesn't makes us stronger.
Yeah, if you go to my YouTube page, and I have a forward launch and a reverse launch video. It's only maybe a minute and a half long or something, and it just shows. But you'll see my arms in the same position on takeoff. Like all my takeoffs are exactly the same.
I have seen that, and I've seen you launch, Shane, and you do a good job. I mean, you pretty much just and then boom, you hit it and you're gone. It's me who's like usually the last one in the air.
No, if we're flying at 5, maybe you should start at like 352.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. That's funny.
And Mark should start at 401 because time he gets his 72 cameras started and all in sync and hooked to satellite and everything else, then Shane, I'm telling you, once my wing is laid out, I'm out. I'm going back for my motor and I'm gone.
Yeah.
Ben's is a nice place because it's usually downhill to take off. Makes it real easy.
Yeah, usually. And Shane's Planet Shane says running a slight downhill with gentle cross breeze is, I guess, greater than or better than a slight uphill run into the wind. I would agree with that. To a point. I mean,
yeah, at Ben's I had a failed launch. We had a crosswind. His field is too short to go left or right. You have to go down the long part of it. And I knew it was crosswinds. And I kind of waited for it to stop blowing so much and took off, and that wing immediately just wanted to turn into the wind. And I fought it for half a second and it failed. It was a failed launch, and I was like, all right. Went back, set up, and just waited for the windsock to just quit moving because it was coming in, every 2-3 minutes it would just drop, and had no problem taking off after that. But I mean, it does. I don't know. I'm fine with people laughing about it because it is funny as hell. I just would like to learn from it, and I need Mark. Maybe next week when Mark's here, we can get him to have that little clip of the forward launch angle and see what it looks like.
Maybe I'm pulling up your YouTube now.
Forward and reverse launch video.
Let's see.
And we're talking, I'm under 40 launches without a teacher in my ear on both of these.
Okay, so that's going to be up there. Share. All right. So where do you want me to go here?
Go to videos. And then somewhere in there should be forward, reverse. It's going to be down a little bit. Maybe scroll down because it's. Why can I not see this screen?
How long ago was it?
It's 2.5, 3 years ago. Go
And what's it
back
called?
up. It says forward and reverse launch. Wait, right there. No, wait, go back. So where you see my Skinny Chef Shane logo, it's 1, 2, 3 up from, or it's the second one up from that and to the left. There you go, right there. Yep, that's it.
Difference between forward launch and reverse launch. Does that make it bigger?
Yeah.
And so how many flights was that?
That was maybe 40, 45, something like that. And then here's a reverse launch. See, much smoother, much easier. Once the wing is sitting above you, you know it's right. Then you just take off.
Yeah, no, but I've also been, and that's why for me to do a reverse launch, it has to be 100% reverse launch material.
Weather.
Yeah, because I have done a reverse launch, and by the time I turn around, that wing is freaking. It did. That's how I've gotten like several lines because the lens was switchy. What am I doing here?
I don't know. Stop screen sharing.
No, I don't want to leave. Stop screen sharing. There we go.
Hold on 1 second.
Holding. So let me give a shout out to everyone in the chat here. Ron Wayne, what's up? Linda Anderson, Mad Sloper, Shane's Planet Shane, Mr. Dana 54, and Matt Sloper already said. Motor NC, Linda Anderson. See that? Andy Milstead, I see you. Bill H in the house. JP Tulo. And Tulo, Shane's Planet Shane. And did I get everyone? Greg Laney, what's up, man? PPG, the other Nick. Sean Nasker's in the house. What's up, Sean? Yeah, just going through the list, Shane, just saying hello to our chatters.
I'm sitting here wondering what happened to Mark. I bet you he's sleeping right now. He's probably getting he's probably got one of his live-in masseuses to give him full body massage, and he fell asleep during it, and just
maybe so. Fly Swamper, what's up, man? I think I got everyone.
Yeah, dude, I'm what? So we don't have right now. There's no other fly-ins scheduled, correct? Other than our one that we're doing later in January.
That's right. That's right. So the first one, I guess, is going to be. I don't know. When is the first flying of the year? Anyone know that in the chat, or do you know that, Shane?
I could have sworn it was not until May or something like that.
May.
Yeah.
Huh. That's way too long. It's got to be something like that.
I'm fully with you on that. We're going to have to plan, maybe in March, we're going to have to plan our little get together and do the thing that you were wanting to come down here for.
Okay.
So fly swamper flies. Oh Jesus! It's one of those. I still got a concussed. I'm still concussed. It says it's still. when is it? I missed it now. Salton Seas, first week in February. That's Arizona's Flying Circus is in mid-February.
Let's see here.
Hey, Greg, are you going to Bad Apples this year?
So Bill H has a good point. The USPPA calendar. Let's see. Would that be resources?
Isn't that the one Eric's doing?
I don't know. I don't know if he's doing that or not.
I can't remember.
Incident. So, okay, are you going to report your incident to the database?
Heck no. Look at this. Look at this shit.
What?
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, whatever. 10 minutes to the show. Don't even try, man. You do not get credit for this one.
Oh, that's awesome.
9 minutes and 15 seconds left of the show.
Hey, that's about 7 minutes longer than I normally last.
Oh, man.
Well, check this out. Look at this incident report. I mean, these are anonymous reports and botched takeoff, what happened, and you can delve into it and you can read the pilot's account as to what happened. Age 51, his weight. It's just like, it's awesome stuff. So yeah, you got to put that in there, Shane.
Well, technically, I never launched.
It doesn't matter. This was a botched takeoff. So
hey,
it's really
Mark, next Tuesday we're gonna pull that clip that you have from your helmet cam.
Okay.
And we're gonna see if there's a possibility I step to the right on my hop, or if it just whatever. Because we're trying to figure out how the hell the line got under my foot, or in front of my foot, I should say. Did you just wake up from a nap or something?
Jeez. No, I've been working all day.
So I'm looking for the calendar here. I don't see it yet. Y'all see it?
No, let me blow this up.
Post an event calendar.
That would be it.
So yeah, good call, Bill H. February 16th, Arizona Flying Circus. That's on the west coast there, or the west, in the west.
Right.
Sun and Fun, that's March 28th.
That's Florida.
That's like a
airplane, like real pilots.
Yeah. Flying poker run. Now, I've never done that. That would be fun. Where is that?
Where can you click on it? Oh, it's Indiana, Brooklyn, I can't.
Brooklyn, Louisiana, or is that Iowa? I think it's Iowa, maybe.
It's really small.
Northern Lights. That's in July. So there's more. They just haven't posted them yet, I'm sure. EAA Air Venture Oshkosh. Yeah.
That's huge too. That's more of for real pilots as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same as Sun and Fun.
Yeah.
So that Mark's trying to participate a little extra. Did you catch that, Shane? He's feeling guilty.
I just love his name. As soon as I read that, I just started giggling. So Mark, tell me about your experience for this last fly-in. That weather was garbage.
The flying sucked. The camping was good, and the food, of course, was good. And pretty much everything else sucked, except for I got to see my dad down there, so that was good.
Yeah, but that guy showed up. He was up. He was there at the camper before we even got up. As soon as I opened the door, he was standing out of the camper, and he's like, "Good morning." I'm like, "Hello." And how far was his drive? Hour and a half.
Yeah, probably an hour and a half. He had a lot to get done that day.
Yeah, and then he left after we got done flying for all of 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yep, but it was good to see him.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the weather was blowing, and they had the place honestly still hadn't dried out yet from the hurricane, so it just wasn't ideal.
Mark, I did forget to tell you. So I forgot to get my wing out of the camper. So I just went in there today to get the wing out so I could send some pictures to Andrew Fuller to get new lines and maybe a pulley instead of the eye ring
Yeah.
or the eyelet. Because my brake line is yet again the sheathing has come off because it's made a groove in the eyelet and
Yeah.
sheared off the sheathing. So not one fly has died in there
Oh, golly.
because we have not had any hot days because of this rain. We've had rain since we got back.
That's
And-
not funny at all, but it's still funny every time I see it.
Oh, Krista,
This is for you, Lad Sloper. He said he didn't get to see it. So
so Will, can you do the frame by frame thing to show Mark the wing?
In skateboarding, that's a scorpion.
Yeah, paramotoring is too.
And the funny thing was, and I guess it was just in slow motion in real life, but it seemed like his face was down there in the grass for like 3 seconds.
Oh, because if you watch my right hand, you'll see me trying. You see me like moving my hand around. My throttle had moved towards the top of my knuckles, if you will, instead of towards the back of where my thumb is, and I couldn't reach the kill switch because it moved forward. So I'm literally shaking my hand on the side trying to get the throttle button so I could reach it. And right here, you'll see it just kind of keep going, Will. Keep going. So my hand is to my side now. I'm trying to like rub it in the grass or whatever to try to get it stopped, and it just
wait, is your throttle on the right hand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you had damaged a bunch of if you had damaged equipment or gotten hurt, then of course it wouldn't be funny. But since nothing happened, that was hysterical.
Greg wants to know, Mark, how are the pork chops?
The pork chops were good. A little hard on the grill, apparently, to cook a pork chop these days. But other than that, the pork chop, I ate it and it was fantastic.
And I think
Man,
Mark
look how close your prop came to the grass.
and my cage stopped it first.
And sorry to anybody, I don't have my computer up, so I don't have a chat.
Oh, don't worry. No one's saying hello to you.
Yeah, I don't doubt that for a minute.
Mark, if you can somehow get me that little clip, I just need to literally the part where you turn,
Just the tip.
just the tip,
Yes,
and
the tip.
till I put my face all the way in it.
Yeah, I'm sure I can figure that out. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll take my computer with me tomorrow and get that to you.
All right.
But Mad Sloper. I'm not typing. Mad Sloper. Be honest. Did you laugh?
Because it's okay if you did, because we all did. My wife literally told me to stop showing it in video because she couldn't stop laughing. No, Matt Sloper, I did not slip. I got one of the lines around my foot, and just as I went to pull it forward, that was the foot that had the line on it. And I was actually leaning a lot further forward to try to account for the gust of wind that's about to occur on my wing, and I didn't want to get pulled backwards. So I leaned extra hard forward, pushed off even harder, and just got that line. Maybe I've analyzed that video so many times, dude, and I can't figure it out. Like, how did that line get around my foot?
If you can't figure out how it got there, you know it's possible that it can be there in the future. So at the very least, you can look.
Right. So I've had.
It's not there.
Now,
So
do you know if do you remember if you walked forwards and bumped your wing?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I took my step back and
Yeah.
brought my lines. When I bring them up, it's not like I just bring them up and over. They actually go out, so it kind of throws the line outward when it's here, and then
Yeah.
they're on my elbows. So you'll see, like my elbows are a little bit out. Well, I actually can't in this video. If you watch my other videos of my takeoffs or whatever, you'll see my arms go out, my elbows. It's to make sure that the lines aren't under my feet, and I don't know.
And just so you know, I was set up right behind them. I was like, oh, great. Now look, I got to wait with the motor on my back. He picked up and got out of my way.
Mad Sloper, it was pretty windy that morning, so that's what I was leaning so hard forward for. If it was a nil wind, it wouldn't have been. My posture would have been way better, not in a football stance takeoff, if you will.
Yeah, when I went to take off, it jerked me to a stop, of course, but then it went okay.
Yeah, I was scared to death of getting turtled.
If something's not going right, I find that just mashing the throttle usually solves the problem. So give that.
That's what I do.
If I would have mashed the throttle, I think I'd have ended up in China. It would have just drove me straight through the crust of Florida into right through China.
Well, I tell you, if you do that, it keeps away those pesky do-gooders that want to come over and try to help you too. Just keep the throttle mashed.
Yeah, right.
Good call.
Hey, I will tell you, Will, you're in a working farm at this fly-in. And this is my second time there. The first time we were there, I had no issues with bugs, no flies, no mosquitoes, no nothing. This go around midday, if you got into the grass, you were a smorgasbord for mosquitoes like there was no tomorrow. Middle of the day, they weren't so bad at nighttime at all, but the house flies. The outside of my camper had, Mark, if you had to pick the closest number of flies on the outside of my camper, how many would you guess?
A little bit of a somewhat educated guess. I'd say probably at least 70.
And then on the inside of my camper,
at least 40 more. It was disgusting. Oh, that's crazy.
Every time you open the door, 1 or 2 would leave, but 17 would enter. And every time you turn around, there's just 2 flies on top of each other. There's more fly action in that camper that weekend.
That's the most action that camper's ever seen. Well, I took off work Sunday and Monday, so today was my first day back. So I was just sitting in there having dinner, having a grand old time, and Will says, did you forget us? I was like, yes.
Well, we are definitely past our 1 hour mark, and I'm sure Mark is exhausted from doing this long show tonight.
It's gotta be.
Well, I usually don't even have 10 minutes worth of content, so it's good.
Tonight you could have had so much more with jokes. Just so you know.
I'll be watching y'all tomorrow morning.
Well, good. So next week, hopefully we'll get Mark's point of view with his GoPro and my not very good foot launch. So come back next week and we'll go over that and see if we can't figure out what exactly happened. Because I honestly I've seen it once on your laptop or something, just for like half a second, but we never like looked into it. So we can do this together on the show. Mr. Will, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me on YouTube. Just search for Will Fly or online at willflyppg.com.
Mr. Mark McElroy.
On YouTube at Paralife PPG, and late for the show.
You guys, you
Yeah,
guys
you're
can
not
find
going to find him here on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m.
You can find me.
Yes,
You can
sir.
find me here at Tuesday nights at 8:50.
You guys can find me on TikTok at pbgshane.com and YouTube at Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane. So we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time, got no filter.